Hello and welcome to Informally Formal. Let me give you a brief introduction of Fahim Masroor. He is the co-founder and CEO of BDJobs.com, CEO of Ajker Deal, founder and MD of Besto Limited. He is one of the pioneers in the digital space in Bangladesh. Most people, he does not need any introduction. A very warm welcome to you, Fahim. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Akbar Bhai, for having me here.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. Today, we're going to be talking to Fahim about creating employment in the digital space. So our theme of Digital Bangladesh, creating employment. So Fahim, my first question is, tell me, if you could have your way, okay? If you are free to dream, tell me, what would you do? What would you like to do in terms of youth employment for the young generation?
I think that it is probably a paramount importance for not only for the society, but for the government, for even everyone to actually engage our youth in the mainstream activities of the society and economy. Because what we have seen in last particularly few decades that in a lot of the cases, somehow youth community are not actually engaged in the mainstream economy, and that's why a lot of them probably are actually getting out of the country because they don't get opportunity inside, and some of them actually also suffer. Like we have seen even like a lot of educated people actually crossing the seas and risking their lives, and kind of that type of thing. Human trafficking is actually taking place. We need to actually ask why are these kind of things are taking place. It is mainly because we are not being able as a society to kind of create a lot of opportunities for them. That's why they are actually taking so much risk, and they kind of are very confused, or they're kind of getting into things that they should not actually. And another thing I think is very important for us about the kind of aspiration aspect of the youth. Like one criticism actually I have always kind of put in about the thing how government should actually, or the government sector should actually respond to the employment aspect with regard to the opportunities they give to the government employees itself. Say, for example, what we have seen in last few years, that the government payroll or the government salary and benefit have actually been increased almost kind of 2-3 folds. Now, this has actually created a lot of pressure to the private sector, because private sectors can't actually just because unless they have their business growing 2 times or 3 times, they can't actually increase their salary or benefit to their workforce responding to government salary increase. But government has a kind of benefit that it can actually tax people and kind of increase the salary of its own people. So what we have seen in last few years, that lot of the young graduates, they actually don't want to work in the private sector. They are actually feeling that any government job can actually give them much better benefit in terms of salary and other benefits.
You make some extremely good points. One of the first ones that you mentioned is we need to get our youth engaged in the mainstream. Now, when you say that, could you care very quickly, could you care to elaborate on that just a little bit?
What we have already kind of been discussing about what we have seen, particularly in the recent years, that a lot of the youth are actually not getting engaged in the mainstream. So like they, of course, like what we have seen, that just because there are a lot of academic institutes, particularly private sector, lot of private universities are there. So, and they all have good number of students. So parents are actually investing huge amount of money on sending them to different academic institutes. So they are actually getting the degree. So they are actually getting some kind of certificate. But what we have seen that after certificate, they are not actually getting engaged in any economic activity. Some of them actually probably think that it is much better for them to kind of take whatever way it is possible to move out of the country, even in a very uncertain situation. Like they are probably traveling to kind of Europe or kind of Malaysia and those kind of countries, some of them legally and some of them illegally, and kind of venturing out for an uncertain future. So, and we know that that is not sometimes, a lot of the cases, there are not pleasant kind of situation. So I think, so that needs to be a kind of like re-engagement, that our people, our graduates, our youth people are actually absorbed in kind of real economic activity where they can be useful for themselves. At the same time, they can be useful for the society around them. And as a country, because we all know that one of the greatest strengths of our country is its people. And when we talk about people, we mainly talk about youth people, because we are actually blessed among very few countries to have this kind of demographic dividend where most of our people are actually youth.
We have 60% of the population is under 35. So we have a rather young population in Bangladesh, which is a demographic dividend properly utilized. But it's not going to last forever. One, you made a very valid point, is the last time the government increased its pay scale, it kind of doubled almost. So that creates, of course, pressure on private companies to be able to match that. And how do they match that unless they double their revenue or do something like that? Is not going to happen overnight. But government openings are not that many. So whatever is then left, basically you're saying that they would much rather not come into private employment. They sometimes wait another year. Sometimes they wait a couple of years to try again. And that happens too. So that creates a pressure on the private sector. One of the things I have always maintained, and believe it or not, this was like many, many years ago, many decades ago, when I first started teaching at a university in America, I was interviewed. And one of the things I said is, university education is not for everyone. And after all these decades, it's amazing, I'm saying the same thing again. It is not for everyone. Why should everyone have a college degree? We need a lot of vocational training. You know, the people that we send abroad, if we could upskill them, because we mostly send unskilled labor, you know. I work with Philippines quite a bit, so they send out nurses and what have you. So per person, their remittance is several folds the remittance that we get. And it's not like the government is not paying attention to that now. That they have, the vocational skills area, they're looking into that. There is the National Skills Development Authority under PMO. So they're doing certain things and stuff, but it's just somehow, I feel like it ought to be faster. So if we send people abroad, if they're trained technicians, if they're trained plumbers, if they're trained electricians, with an international level certification, by the way, that is something that is accepted. That would be one way of easing the some of the challenges that you were talking about, Fahim. Second is, I'm going to come to now, the reason why there is a disengagement is because there is a gap. There is a tremendous gap between employers and what the academic institutions, what the employers want, and what academic institutions are providing. If I interview so many thousands of people, I only find a handful.
I think, Akbar bhai, you are quite spot on those things. First of all, like what you mentioned about the kind of, about questioning the kind of like what is the justification of having so many kind of like graduates rather than like technically skilled, like vocationally skilled people. So I completely agree with you. Like I think like in a developing country or a kind of growing country like us, we actually need lot of kind of like people who are like practically skilled to do a lot of things, whether it is a kind of a technical job or a kind of like jobs where any vocational skills are needed. That means like any practical, because like somehow I think that we are creating a lot of kind of like managers or kind of supervisors rather than uh, like the main work force of the country. So like frankly, and that's why like I know that government actually is creating a lot of emphasis on the vocational stream. So they are creating a lot of infrastructure for kind of like technical training institutes, kind of vocational training institutes across the country, not only in the Dhaka city, but across the country. But those vocational institutes needs to be kind of properly equipped, properly, and a lot of teachers needs to be there who actually can teach the students exact like whatever it is needed, not only in the local market, but also in the global market. So that needs to be done. But I think the bigger problem is probably, I would say, in a mindset, our societal mindset. Still now, a lot of the parents prefer their students to get a kind of like master's degree or kind of graduation degree rather than a kind of vocational qualification degree. So whereas the fact of the matter is, if their kid actually get a vocational degree, there is every possibility that they will be much more employable. They will probably get much better salary having a vocational certification rather than a kind of master's degree. So what we are actually seeing that all these kind of bachelor degree or master's degree, like you have mentioned about this kind of thousands and millions of BBAs actually getting unemployed. Unfortunately, because of the societal mindset, our parents are actually not sending their kids to these to get this kind of practical vocational skills. Rather, they are actually, I would say, that making them unemployed by kind of sending them in general type of things like BBA or those type of things. Right. Because not lot of them, because of course we need like academicians, we need researchers, we need book grades. So, but we don't need like so many kind of people like getting into these things. So there needs to be balance.
Fahim, I can't tell you what a pleasure it was. I cannot thank you enough. Now that we have connected once again after many years, I would like to keep this alive. And I would like to thank our audience for joining us. So what a wonderful, wonderful session it was. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in our next session. Bye-bye.